Hello. Hello guys, I'm audible.
Yeah, hi Dinesh, good morning.
Good morning. Fine. Okay, let's start the session. Okay. So, did you remember what we have covered in the previous session? What we covered in the previous?
Volume types.
Volume types.
Yes, correct. Yeah. We have discussed different volume types. So, what are they?
Cold HDD, throughput optimized,
Correct. Yes. Cold HDD, throughput optimized HDD. And what else?
and provisioned IOPS and what is that?
General purpose.
General purpose.
Yeah.
Yes, correct. So, did I create any EBS? Did I create any volume?
Yeah, we
After EC2 is
created and
happening?
yeah,
Yes. We have attached that EBS to the EC2 also. Is that right?
yes.
Correct. Okay. Is while attaching your EBS to EC2, that time we have faced one problem, right? Did you remember? What is the problem we
Yeah,
have faced?
delete on termination. Yes or no?
No, not that one. Like I'm asking, like when we attach the EBS to the EC2, that time we found, right, no instance is founding, like that we faced some problem. Did you remember?
Yes. Regarding the zones, right?
Yes,
Availability zone.
exactly, correct. So EBS needs to be in the same availability zone as EC2. Is that right?
Yeah.
Within the availability zone, if we have a EC2 and EBS, we can able to attach. But one availability zone EC2, we cannot attach with another availability zone EBS. Is that right?
Yes, that's good.
So the problem that we have faced, the EBS needs to be in the same availability zone. In the same availability zone as your EC2. It means that EC2 and EBS should be in the same availability zone. That's the drawback. If we go with the EBS, we cannot use EBS from another availability zone to the particular EC2 which is available in one availability zone. That's the problem. And another drawback, if we go with the EBS, another drawback, if you go with the EBS, you cannot use a single EBS. If you have one EBS, right, you cannot use a single EBS. You cannot be attached in multiple EC2. Multiple EC2. What does it means? Suppose you have one availability zone. Consider like I have one availability zone. In this availability zone, we have an EBS. EBS is nothing but elastic block storage. If it is, suppose if you have another availability zone, if you have here EC2, you know we cannot attach this EBS to this EC2. Is that right? Yes or no? This is the first point. Am I correct or not?
Yeah.
Guys? Yes. So this is my availability zone 2. Okay. Now, let me take one EC2 now. in the same availability zone. Can I able to attach this EBS with this EC2? Yes, no? Yes, can you tell me? This is my availability zone. Can I able to attach this EBS with this EC2? Can I connect this EBS with this EC2? Yes or no?
No, because both are in different
No.
zones.
The same, I'm asking this one. This EBS with this EC2.
Yeah, we can.
We can able to attach. Correct. Now, suppose if you have one more EC2 you have created in this availability zone. Now the question is, can I use this EBS as a shared storage, or can I attach the same EBS? Already it is connected with this EC2. Can I connect this one?
Could
It is
be
also
because
not
it is
possible.
not possible.
So second point, can you read this one? A single EBS cannot be attached in multiple EC2. Cannot be attached to multiple EC2. Are you clear? Yes
Yeah.
or no? So remember, in EBS we have a two drawback. One drawback is, suppose we have a one availability zone. Whatever the EC2, suppose if you have one EC2 within the availability zone, that we can connect with that EBS within the availability zone. We cannot attach this EBS in another availability zone to any other EC2. In the same way, one EBS, one EC2, that is possible. One EBS cannot be act as a shared storage with the multiple EC2. This is the drawback in your EBS. Everyone got this point? Can you confirm, or do you want me to repeat? Everyone clear with this? Okay, right. So what I said, suppose I have a region. I have a region. This is my region. You can take North Virginia. This is my region. Inside the North Virginia region, we have a two or more availability zone, right? Let me take, this is my availability zone 1. And I have another availability zone. This is my availability zone 2. And we have one more availability zone. Say this is my availability zone 3. So what I said, suppose inside this availability zone, you already created an instance, which is maybe an EC2. And you have created one more instance, EC2. And here we have one EBS. Consider like you have one EBS. The same way, in availability zone 2 also, you have created EC2. You have created EC2. And you have created EBS. And consider like you have a one more EBS also. One more EBS also. Here in the same way, here we have a EC2. Here we have a EC2. And here we have EBS. And this is also EBS like that you have. What I said, suppose in the availability zone 1, I have a EC2. Now the question is, can I able to connect this EC2 with the EBS? Can I able to attach this EBS with the EC2? If someone is asking, yes, it is possible. It is possible to connect your EBS with the EC2. Now the question is, okay, let me go to the availability zone 2 now. Can I able to connect this EC2 with the EBS? Yes, we can able to connect this EC2 with the EBS. Can I able to connect this EC2 with the EBS? Yes, of course, it is possible. Now I have another question. Suppose I have a EC2 here, right? This EC2, can I able to connect with this EBS? If someone is asking, it is not possible because it is a different availability zone. Your EBS in another availability zone, EC2 in this availability zone. We cannot go outside. We cannot go outside. Now, if you ask me, hey, can I connect this EC2 with this EBS? Can I connect this EC2 with this EBS? It is also not possible because already you have a EC2 that is already connected with this EBS, right? For that reason, we cannot connect this EC2 with this EBS. This EBS only to one EC2. It is not for another EC2. So that's the reason I have written 2 points. One point is EC2 and the EBS should be in the same availability zone. The second point is EC2 only to one EBS. We cannot use multiple EC2. We cannot use it for single EBS. It is not possible, I said. Now, are you clear?
Yeah, clear.
Yes, I'm expecting everyone should answer. So, everyone clear or you are not able to understand still?
Clear.
Yeah. What about Sharanya, Irfan, Jaya?
Clear.
Clear, sir. Clear,
Yeah,
sir.
it's clear.
Yes, clear.
Fine. Now, okay, we know the problem now. We know the problem. What is the solution? What is the solution? We found the problem. What is the solution? Right. Guys, what I said, the one problem is we cannot use a single EC2 with a multiple EC2 with a single EBS. That's the one problem. The another problem is EBS needs to be in the same availability zone as EC2. So in order to solve this problem, AWS provides within a EBS itself, we have one feature called EBS Mutli Attach feature. EBS Mutli Attach feature. EBS Mutli Attach feature, it is to solve your problem in your EBS. But is it solving entirely? If you ask me, no. Remember, how many problems we have? We have 2 problems. The first problem is talk about multiple EC2 with a single EBS. The second problem, your EBS and EC2 should be in the same availability zone. We cannot use it outside the availability zone. This EBS Mutli Attach feature will solve only this problem, guys. It is not at all, talk about this problem. It is only talking about this problem. What's the problem? Okay, I think I'm telling, sorry. No. It is talking only about this problem. A single EBS with a multiple EC2. When you use the EBS Mutli Attach feature, you guys can able to achieve this one, but you cannot achieve this problem. You can able to achieve which problem? Single EBS with a multiple EC2 problem, we can able to achieve with help of EBS Mutli Attach feature. But even though we are achieving this problem by EBS Mutli Attach feature, there is a few limitation. There is a few limitation in your EBS Mutli Attach feature. What are they? So to understand this one, we'll see the practical demonstration. Please wait. Right, listen. Suppose, let me create one EBS. But before that, I don't have an EC2. I will create EC2 also. Click on this EC2. You know already how to create the instances and all. Let me click on launch instance. And quickly I can create one VM. Say this is my virtual machine, which is 1. And then I have to select the AMI. I will go with the Linux AMI and instance type T2 micro. And I can create the new key pair also. Say the key pair hyphen, which is second hyphen March. Let me create it. And click on a create a key pair. It's a PEM file. And come below. I am allowing the SSH protocol and configuring the storage with help of 8 GB, and I am launching the instance. Now I can able to see the virtual machine. So let me, guys, now we can see a view all instances. Click on this. And once it is up and running, we will start the instance. Otherwise, directly if you connect the instance without knowing like whether it is a pending or success, we can see the error. For that reason only, I always go for view all instances. Once it is up and running, it is a time to connect your instance. And I'm going to connect this instances also. Once your connection is established, let me create, okay, why it is. So let me close this. Once again, click on connect. EC2 connect is unable to connect to ensure your instance network settings are configured correctly. For actually, it is configured correctly, but why? Yes, it got connected. Now, let me go to my instances again. And this time I can create a volume. You know already how to create a volume. Click on these volumes and create a volume. Already we have a volume also, right? This volume, while creating an EC2 instance, a default volume got created. Fine. Now click on a create a volume and you can go for any volume. But see guys, now I have selected the general purpose SSD and you can see the size. You can see the IOPS, throughput, availability zone, snapshot, encryption, tags. You guys able to see anything called EBS Multi Attach? Any EBS Multi Attach feature here? No, right? I don't see any feature called EBS Multi Attach in this particular place. Now let me go with another. I can go for the GB3. Size, throughput, availability zone, snapshot, encryption, tags. Here also I don't see. Now let me go with maybe cold HDD. Is there any option called multi-attach, tags, encryption, snapshot ID, availability zone, throughput, IOPS, size, volume type? No. If I go with the throughput optimized, again volume type, size, IOPS, throughput, availability zone, snapshot, encryption, tags? No. Let me try with a magnetic drive. Is there any feature called a multi-attach, volume type, size, IOPS, throughput, availability zone, snapshot, encryption, tags? Here also no. But if I go with the provision IOPS, volume type, size, IOPS, throughput, availability zone, snapshot, Amazon EBS multi-attach feature. Now tell me, EBS multi-attach feature is for all the volume type or it is only for provision IOPS? Yes, is it only for provision IOPS or for all the AWS volume type, EBS volume types?
Only for provisional.
Exactly. Only for provision IOPS. So even though if I don't want the provision IOPS, only for the reason, suppose if you need single EBS, if you want to attach with a multiple EC2, you don't have any option. You should go for what? Amazon multi-attach feature. If you want to enable, you have to choose forcefully. You have to choose the provisioned IOPS. Provisioned IOPS. So what I mean, a single EC2, single EBS, a single EBS cannot be attached with, cannot be attached with multiple EC2s. Multiple EC2s. Multiple EC2s. We can solve this problem. We can solve this problem by using what? EBS multi-attach feature. EBS multi-attach feature. But what is the problem? The problem is, the limitation is only if you enable provisioned IOPS. Provisioned IOPS as a volume type. Then only you can see this option. Only if you enable the provision IOPS as the volume type from the EBS, then only you can able to see this EBS multi-attach feature. Even though if you don't want to provision IOPS, you don't want to pay that much amount of money. Maybe your requirement is cold data, your requirement is throughput optimist, or some other volume type, even the magnetic drive. In that case also, only for reason, like if you need the multi-attach feature, you should enable the provision IOPS. Provision IOPS is for a different purpose, in order to increase the performance. It is the one kind of SST. When you get the, the maximum peak, the traffic is always high. That time you will choose the provision IOPS. But multi-attach feature, if you want to enable, for that reason also, AWS is saying, right, hey, you have to select the provision IOPS as the volume type. Then only I will give you the permission, right? The one more is, fine. What I'm doing, maybe for this demo, I am selecting the provision IOPS. Only for the reason I'm enabling the multi-attach feature. Now, let me add one tag also. Say name is EBS multi attach or EBS multi. Is it enough? Yeah. Now what I can do, let me go with the minimum GP, which is a 4. Maybe I can go with a 10 GB. And you have to select 10 into 100, 1000 IOPS is possible. 10 GP volume is 500. Okay, 50. I can make it as 500. Or if I make 4 into 50, which is 200 IOPS. Fine. Now come below. Let me create a volume. Now I have created the volume. What is the volume availability zone? Availability zone is 1A. But the problem is EC2 in different availability zone, right? EC2 in 1C. So then I made the mistake. Let me delete this one. Delete this volume. And I can create a new volume. Say I will select the provision IOPS. And I can choose the 4 GB. 4 into 50, 200 IOPS I'm selecting. And the availability zone I'm going to select, which is 1C. And I'm going to enable the multi-attach feature. And click on add tag. Name is EBS multi-attach feature. Click on create volume. Now, both are in different availability zone. Fine. Now let me try to attach this EBS. I will try to attach this EBS with my EC2. Attach this volume and instance. Already one instance is running on 1C. Let me click on this. And after that, now I will try to click on attach volume. Click on the attach volume. See, I'm getting an error, guys. I'm getting an error. What is the error? We will troubleshoot this error. What is the error? What is the error that I'm getting? See, it is saying, hey, you have created one volume, right? This is the volume ID. Volume is a multi-attach enabled. Correct. I have enabled the multi-attach. And the T2 micro doesn't support multi-attach enabled volume. It is saying, right? I have created the instance type called T2 micro. This T2 micro, it is not supporting this multi-attach feature. Now, if T2.micro is not supporting, what are the other instances is supporting the multi-attach? What are the other instances is supporting the multi-attach? That you need to understand, right? I will tell you, remember, EBS multi-attach feature, one limitation is only the provision IOPS is supporting, and another one is particular instance type is not supporting. What are they? That instance type is Nitro instance. Only in AWS, we have one instance type called Nitro instance type. Only those instances is supported by your multi-attach feature. Remember, only these instances, guys. Nitro instance is one of the powerful instances in your AWS. Nitro system is a collection of hardware and software component built by AWS that enables high performance, high availability, high security. This Nitro system provides a bare metal capabilities that eliminates virtualization overhead and support workload that require full access to host. So it's a powerful, actually. It's a powerful instances. Only these instances, guys. Can you see here? Only these instances. Here they have given some instances, right? Only these instances is supporting your what? EBS multi-attach. In general purpose, they have listed something. In compute optimal, they have listed something. So only these instances is supported by your AWS multi-attach EBS feature. Other than Nitro instances, it is not supporting any other thing. This is another drawback with respect to your EBS. Another drawback is only Nitro instances is supporting your EBS multi-attach feature. Now the problem is what, right? Even though I don't need these two features, what AWS is saying, if you want this multi-attach feature, forcefully it is asking me to enable these two things. That's the reason, finally, I'm going to say this EBS multi-attach feature is one useless feature from your AWS. Suppose your project requires this provision IOPS and the Nitro instances, maybe you can go for multi-attach. Even though if you don't need this one, it is asked by your AWS. Are you getting my point? Yes or no? Now, how to solve this problem? So again, AWS is providing one more feature. Not AWS, not EBS, it's a AWS. AWS is providing a separate service called EFS. We have one feature called EFS, Elastic File System or Elastic File Storage. Elastic File Storage is another feature is provided by your AWS. Using that, you can able to solve the problem. So using this feature, there are two benefits. The first benefit is you can conduct a single EBS with a multiple EC2. This problem you can able to solve. Along with that, you can solve another problem also. You can use the single EC2 to other maybe available EC2 from one availability zone. EC2 from one availability zone can be connected with EBS from another availability zone. EBS with another availability zone. This problem also we can able to eliminate with the help of your EFS, Elastic File Storage. Elastic File Storage. It is the another feature from your AWS. It is not an inbuilt service. It is not an inbuilt service of your EC2. It is the another service. EFS is one more service. It is a storage service from your AWS. Now let me tell you how to create your EFS. How to create your EFS. Right. So I'm going to stop my EC2 because unwanted is running actually. So let me stop that one. Click on this as of now. Let me stop this instance. Click on stop. And I have created the volume type also. I don't need. Let me delete this multi-attach. I'm just deleting the unused resources. Fine. Now EFS in the search box, search EFS. Can you see? Managed file storage for EC2. Managed file storage for EC2. Green color, it is a symbol of your EFS. It is the logo of your EFS. Click on this. Now, let me create a file system under your EFS. If you want some demo and all, you just see here and the pricing, all those see notes, you can find it here. So quickly, we guys can create EFS, Elastic File System. So directly you can click on this customize, thereby you can fill one by one. The first one, a general name I need to give it. So any name you can give. Say this is EFS demo. EFS demo, I have given a name. It's optional only. I'm giving. The second one, a storage class. So it's a storage class. Now the question is, what is storage class? In EFS, what is storage class? Storage class. See, we have a 3 storage class in your EFS. The first storage class is standard. Standard means suppose you are working with one availability zone. In that particular one availability zone, you have a EC2, you have a UC2 that you have connected with your EFS, that you have attached with EFS, right? Now, you have a data, right? Because why you are going for EFS? In order to store your data, you have a data inside your EFS as a storage drive. EFS is the storage drive where you have a data. Now, what you are saying, sometimes if there is a disaster, or sometimes, unfortunately, you have deleted your EFS or your EFS got terminated. In that case, you will lose this data, right? Yes or no? Maybe suddenly your availability zone got some disaster, or your EFS is suddenly got deleted due to any other reason, right? That time you may lose your data, right? You will lose the data. So in order to handle this one, what AWS is saying, yeah, if you choose a storage class as standard, what basically we will do, we will replicate your data. We will store the copy of the data from one availability zone into 2 or more availability zones. 2 or more availability zones. It means that your data replica, your copy of data will be distributed, will be replicated across multiple availability zones. Even if there is a problem with one availability zone, you can able to pick the data from another availability zone. Yes, of course, for that you have to pay some money. So that's one of the storage class which is called standard. Are you clear with what is standard? Can you confirm?
Yes, Dinesh.
There are second storage class also. The second storage class is one zone. We have another storage class called one zone. When I say one zone, your data will be available in only one availability zone. If there is a disaster or there is a problem with your EFS, you cannot retrieve the data from any other availability zone because your data will be saved in only one availability zone. For that, yes, of course, there are that much amount you have to pay. The cost, not that much expensive. You can save the cost. But the thing is, the data will be replicated in only one availability zone. If there is a disaster, AWS won't take the responsibility. It is your responsibility. And apart from this, we have another storage class also, which is called standard IA. Standard IA. IA means infrequent access. Infrequent access. Sometimes, suppose you have selected the standard. When you select the standard, what will happen? Definitely your data will be available in multiple availability zone. Your copy will be available in multiple availability zone. Suppose, consider like 30 days or 40 days, whatever it might be. Consider like 30 days or any days, any number of days you can take. 30 days. If you are not touching your data, if you are not touching your data, what AWS is saying, hey, if you want, I can send this data into some other database, which is called standard IA storage class. Thereby, we will give you some discount. Hey, your data is now in standard. Suppose 30 days, you are not accessing your data continuously, 1 month, if you are not accessing your data, what AWS will do, if you enable the life cycle rule from the AWS, they will send the data from standard to standard IA. Thereby, you will get some discount. Suppose next 6 months, you are not touching your data. Then your data will be in standard IA, not in standard. After 6 months, the first day, if you are accessing your data, immediately your data will be sent from standard IA to standard. So like this, you can define the life cycle rule in your AWS. In your EFS, you can define the life cycle rule. Everyone got this one? Yes or no?
Is it like predefined, like after 30 days, it will
Not,
move,
we
or
have to
we
define.
have to define?
We have to define, yes.
Okay.
You can tell, right? Suppose if I'm not accessing my data for 1 year, you just move this data from this storage class to another storage class. When I access my data, you just come out. Like that, we need to define it.
Okay, the time period could be anything.
Anything, yes. It is for our convenient, based on our project. Right. Okay, listen. Now, can you see the storage class here? There are 2 storage class, one is standard and one zone. Standard means if you want to store your data across the multiple availability zone redundantly. One zone means if you want to store the data within a single availability zone. As of now, I will go with the one zone. And you can select the availability zone also if you want. You can go with any availability zone. I already created my EC2 in 1C availability zone, right? I can go with the other availability zone because I need to check, right, whether I can able to attach the single EPS in another availability zone to the EC2. For that, I will go with the 1A. Now come below. And you have an automatic backup is also available. In EBS also, we have a backup. I think I need to cover that one. Tomorrow, I will talk about EBS backup. But as of now, this backup, you no need to worry. Just leave it. This backup we'll talk about later. We'll talk about tomorrow. No need to worry. And then can you see the life cycle management? Yes, this is what I mentioned. See, suppose here, can you see here? They have given 1 day since lost access, 7 days since lost access, 90 days since lost access, like that they have given. Here, if I mention 30 days since last access, 30 days, if you are not touching your data, it will transition your file from one zone, because I have selected the one zone, right? I have selected the one zone to one zone infrequent access, one zone IA. Suppose if I select a standard, can you see here? If transition files from standard to standard IA. Are you getting my point? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Transition out of IA. When I should come out? When it's a out, standard to standard, IA to standard. So here you have to tell on first access. When I access my data first time, please come out of your standard IA to standard. Like that, you have to define the life cycle management. So they have given life cycle management is one of the right price and performance blend of your application by moving your file between the standard and standard IA storage classes. Any question on this? What is life cycle management? Can you confirm? Everyone?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. That's it. Rest of the things, yes, we need to go for another one, which is called a performance settings. Guys, did you remember in your EBS, we have seen the two important HDD, which is what? Cold HDD and throughput optimized HDD. In the same way, in EFS also, we have a two HDD. HDD means throughput. What are they? One is the bursting throughput mode and the enhanced throughput mode. Bursting is a normal kind of a cold HDD. But if you go for enhanced, you will get more cost. So as of now, I will go with the bursting. Bursting provides the throughput that scales with amount of storage per workload and basic performance requirement. Automatically it will scale up. But if you need more throughput, then click on this enhanced. If you need the more throughput, you can click on the enhanced, but I can go with the normal. Bursting is enough to me. And you can see the performance mode also, IOPS also. There are two IOPS they have given. One is general purpose IOPS or maximum IOPS. In EBS, we have seen like this. General purpose IOPS, they have a provisioned IOPS. In the same way, they are also given a general purpose and maximum. I will go with the general purpose itself. Let me add one tag also. The tag is name and this is EFS. A demo, like that I have given something. Let me click on this create. And VPC, I'm not going to talk about the VPC right now because VPC is another AWS services. After I cover S3, after I cover IAM, then we'll go for VPC. It will take a week to understand VPC. But again, we have one of the important topics that I'm going to discuss now. What is that? What is mean by mount target? A mount target. Very, very important. Very, very important. We are going to cover. Listen. So for that, okay. So same topic we are going to cover. Okay, okay. Listen. See, suppose we have our AWS. This is my AWS. In my AWS, you know, we have an availability zone, right? In a region, we have a many availability zone also. We have many availability zone also. Let me take, I have a 2 availability zone. In a region, I have a 2 availability zone. This is my 1 availability zone. This is my another availability zone. There are 2 availability zone we have. And we have created a service called EFS also. We have created a service called EFS also. A service which is an EFS. We know EFS is nothing but elastic file storage. Guys, I need to tell one thing. Remember as of now. Later I will tell you in deep. EFS is working on the basis of EFS following one protocol called, what is the protocol name? NFS protocol. EFS is following one protocol called NFS protocol. If you ask me what is NFS protocol, network file system. Network file storage or system, whatever it might be. Network file system. It is the protocol which is followed by your EFS. Remember, very, very important. Interview question. People might ask what protocol or which protocol is followed by your EFS. You have to immediately say that following the network file system protocol. Network file system protocol. Now, this NFS, you know, EFS is a separate service. Now, the NFS is available inside your availability zone. Say this is my availability zone 1. And this one is my another availability zone. This is my availability zone 2. Availability zone 2. Now, suppose in this particular availability zone, you have created one EC2 instance. Consider like I have created one EC2 instance. In the same way, I have another EC2 also in this particular machine. So this is my EC2. And here also we have a EC2. This particular availability zone also we have EC2. Now remember, EC2 is available in the form of, inside the availability zone, EC2 is not available. EFS or NFS is available in the form of nothing but it is called as a mount target. What is the terminology? Mount target. Mount target is available inside your availability zone in the form of NFS. So NFS is available in the form of mount target, guys. In the form of mount target. In every availability zone, in your AWS, you can find the mount target. If someone is asking what is mount target, it is available in the form of NFS or EFS. So mount target is one IP address. If you ask me technically, mount target is one IP address. It is one IP address. Consider like mount target as IP address. It is automatically given by your AWS. AWS will give you that IP address. It will generate that IP address automatically. Now, this EC2, you know, we can connect with this mount target. In the same way, this EC2 also you can connect with mount target. How we can connect the mount target? Because we know the IP address. Using this IP address, you can be able to connect this EC2 with this IP address. In the same way, in this EFS also, it knows that it is connecting with this mount target. This EFS also connecting with this mount target. Now, that's the reason we can share this EFS with a multiple availability zone. We cannot directly connect this EFS with this EC2 and this EC2. Remember, we cannot directly connect this EFS with a multiple availability zone into the multiple EC2. It is not at all possible. but we can able to connect via what? Via mount target. In every availability zone in AWS, we have a mount target that is following the NFS protocol. Through that, we are connecting to your EC2. So this is the simple architecture followed by your AWS or EFS. Through that only, we are connecting with multiple EC2. Everyone clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So EFS is following the NFS protocol. In every availability zone, NFS is available in the form of a mount target. Mount target is a simple IP address. Through that, we can connect the EC2. Along with that, your EFS is also connected with multiple mount target, which is available in multiple availability zone. Now, let me show this one. Can you see the mount target? Mount target is mounted on multiple availability zone. Can you see here? 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, 1E, 1F. Automatically, it will generate an IP address also. So if you don't want a mount target here, you can remove it also. If you don't want a mount target here, yeah, you can remove it also. Right? So your EFS is available in the form of mount target. Can you see here? A mount target provides a NFS v4 version 4 network file system endpoint at which we can mount an Amazon EFS file system. We recommend creating one mount target per availability zone. Fine. Let me click on next. Next. Now you don't need to worry about this thing and all. Click on next. That's it. Come below and click on create. Now you can find an EFS here. You can find the EFS here. Can you see EFS demo? And can I try to attach this EFS with my EC2? Click on this. View details. Can you see the attach here? Click on this attach. See guys, we can attach your EFS with your EC2 either by DNS or via IP address. I will go with the DNS itself. But remember, you cannot directly there is no button called attach. You cannot attach it. You have to use what? You have to use command line interface, CMD. Then only you can able to attach. Command line interface, you have to use it. For that reason, let me close this one. I will go with my EC2. Where is my EC2? Right. I will search the EC2. Click on this EC2. I will just start the EC2 because it is not running now. Click on this and instant state, start your instance. This is running. Let me click on connect and click on connect instance. Better we can go with this also. Cloud Shield, right? You have a Cloud Shield. You can use the Cloud Shield also. Whatever you want, you can use it. It is also another terminal which is provided by your AWS. In the UI itself, you have a terminal. You can use it this also. Right. So what are the steps that you have to follow in order to connect your EFS with your EC2? What are the steps you have to follow? Let me tell you. The step number one. Step number one, EFS to EC2. What are the steps you have to follow? The step number 1. First of all, install NFS, because if you want to work with the EFS, you need a NFS protocol, right? For that, you have to install NFS first. So what you need to do? You have to install NFS. Now the question is, how to install NFS? How to install NFS? Very simple. Very simple, listen. Type sudo, but better 1 minute. Guys. Let me open my terminal. Thereby, you will very understand. You will try to understand this. Okay. Let me zoom. Okay, fine. And I will go to the downloads folder. CD downloads. Now I'm in the downloads. I will connect with SSH client first. SSH client. I will copy this. Press enter. Yes. Okay, I need to provide the permission to this chmod, right? Copy this, paste it, and now you can use the SSH client. Now, yes, I can able to connect to my EC2, right? Let me clear the screen. And I will. Now I will. What? First step, I need to install the NFS. How can I install the NFS? Guys, this is the normal user. EC2 user is the normal user. Now I should convert this user into the pseudo user. Pseudo means root user. How can I convert from this normal user to pseudo user? Did you remember? How to move from normal user to pseudo user or super user, root user? So for that, you have to use a command called sudo space su. When you use the sudo space su or sudo space -i, when you use this command, what will happen? You will move from EC to normal user to root user. Whenever if you want to install any software, you first become a normal user, not normal user, pseudo user, root user. Press enter. Now can you see now root user? You are the root user. Suppose if you want to come out, then you can click right exit. Now normally you are normal user now. Log out. Normal user. Once again, if you want to pseudo user, type sudo space I or sudo space su. Both are same. Everyone clear with this? Yes or no?
Yeah.
The second step, I have to install NFS software. How can I install the NFS software? So to install any software, we have to go for one package called M package, YUM. YUM. So type M install space -y. -y means yes. Yes means -y. What software you need? I need NFS software, right? NFS -utils. It is a software name. NFS -utils. It's a software name. Network file system. Because if you want to deal with the EFS, you need at least NFS. If you don't have NFS, how can I deal with the EFS? Let me press enter. Now it is saying, right, hey, you already have a NFS, already installed NFS. In my machine, already have an NFS. So that particular Linux flavor, right? We are using the Linux flavor. That Linux flavor, it is automatically giving the NFS. For that reason, you don't need to install. But suppose if you are working with some other EMI, some other machine, then you have to install. The second step is you are installing the NFS. There's only 1 minute. Guys, I'm having another meeting now. So can we continue this topic tomorrow? Is that okay? Till then, you will practice tomorrow. We'll see this one. Is that okay?
Sure then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So whatever that I have covered, just to maybe once again watch the recording. Tomorrow maybe we will cover these steps we will follow tomorrow. Fine. Thank you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.